Hey everybody, Chris with Lift Kits for Less. Hey, today we got a new kit here we want to talk to you about. This is for all you Tundra guys, and this is all Tundra guys from '07 all the way up through 18 and 19 and through the current iteration of the Tundra. So as everybody knows, Tundra is independent front suspension, so we use cross members and knuckles to create lift. That's what this kit's about. Today what I want to do is go over this kit, some features of the kit, what the kit comes from, some wheel tire measurements, basically some highlights of this, okay? We're going to actually install this on a brand new 2017 Tundra, so we'll go out to the Tundra and take some before photos. We'll have some good before photos, some during photos of the kit. Now this isn't designed to be a step-by-step install video or how-to video, but rather just an overview of what you can expect from the kit, some features of the kit, and so on. Okay, so let's dive into it. First of all, let's talk about Trailmaster. Trailmaster, storied history. Now they are part of the Trans-American Procomp family, so they are backed by millions and millions and millions of dollars. And what they have here is basically world-class U.S. manufacturing, featuring these are U.S.-made knuckles, U.S. foundries. So this is basically 100% U.S.-made product. So I like that about this kit. And then you also have any issues, you're backed by $500 million corporation. What else? This kit comes standard with rear nitro shocks. These are the Trailmaster shocks. And then we offer, because we have the flexibility of adding different shock packages, we can go with any kind of rear Fox shock package you like. This particular customer is going to be using the Fox 2.0. These are the new steel body Adventure Series shocks. And Procomp offers a full 6-inch massive new direct bolt-in coilover. So guys that are looking for ultra performance, we can add this as a feature as well. What comes standard with this kit is a strut spacer and a preloader, and this is how you create make up the 6 inches of lift in the front. So we'll dive into that little bit as well. First of all, guys, the part number on this is a TM Trailmaster 505N. Again, this is 07 all the way up to 18-19 Tundra, and this is a full 6-inch suspension system designed to clear a 35 12.5-inch wheel. Guys, sorry to say this will not fit a factory wheel. What happens is the knuckle tie rod connector hits your factory wheel, so not going to work. Some minimums, they say 18-inch wheel, not to exceed 9 inches width with a maximum backspacing of 5.5 inches, or 20-inch wheel, not to exceed 9 inches width with a maximum backspacing of 6 must be used. Anyway, we'll have all this up on our website, all the options. There is a couple of notes. To get this rear cross member in, you're going to cut about 6 inches off your factory cross member. That's the only real cutting. There is some drilling, a little bit, that one cut that has to be made, and the weld in. There's these little tabs that go on the bump stop. Some guys offer them as a bolt-on. I prefer the weld in just because this is your steering, and if that were to fall off from a nut failing, could affect you're going to oversteer and cause issues, and understeer and oversteer. So welding these in is better. One thing you're going to see right here from this kit is the packaging is phenomenal. Everything is labeled individual bags. So you can tell this isn't just a fly-by-night suspension company, but a company that's been around, knows how to do it. So you're getting basically a $2,000 lift kit for $1,200. So for value, this is pretty awesome. Again, front of this is a 6-inch kit. The rear, real quick, comes with 3-inch lip blocks. The pins are offset, so it's going to rotate your axle and correct the pinion angle for your drive shaft, so you don't get any drive shaft vibrations. The other part of the rear lift is the rear add-leafs. These do come with the Teflon slide, so that you don't get a bunch of squeaking in the rear end with your leaf springs. So they use a combination block add-leaf to raise the rear. Guys that want to have the rear end set a little lower, just leave your add-leafs out. Guys that want to sit level, a little higher in the rear end, you'll need these add-leafs. The advantage to an add-leaf is it actually increases towing capacity. So if you're going to be doing some towing, probably getting another 200 to 300 pounds of towing over your standard leaves. Okay. Differential drops everything back into place. One thing I do like about this particular kit is it has these rear tabs, and what this is a rear torsion kicker bars, so that if you want a little bit of extra rigidity, so side to side, you can add these in later. That's an option. other kits on the market don't have these, and you got to drill into the cross member. Not a end of the world thing, but just kind of nice that these are already here. You just bolt them in. One thing I do notice about your cam locks or your for getting the alignment, this is a huge failure point on Tundras, and these tabs bend and break. They really welded these really quite well, which is great. It isn't just a minor tack weld, so that as you dial in your alignment specs, it's not going to fail over time, because these are welded so well where these break off and then your alignment goes to crap, okay? Which is actually on the Tundras can be a real pain getting the Tundra to align properly, because they have just natural, the way their upper arms are. So this does use your factory upper arms, okay? Basically that's it. The price point on this, just standard with the with your Trailmaster rear shocks, is out the door $11.99. So full suspension, made in the U.S. foundry, not Chinese. The other kit at this price point, their knuckles come out of China. So this particular kit is made in Southern California. Their entire I've been to the factory. It's impressive. They have 4 $2 million lasers. This is all made here in the U.S. These cross members, all this metal work here made in the U.S. So the engineers are U.S. engineers. This is a well-made, well-designed kit that's going to allow your vehicle to get back to the original, as close to your spec geometry as possible, okay? Also, a couple things, guys. It does come with your front new tie rod ends. This is a nice feature. You don't have to cut or trim your tie rods, which the cheaper kits have you do. You just simply put the new tie rod ends in. Real quick, the reason why you do have to take your front strut apart and disassemble that, because this is a preloader. And why this preloader is in there is it changes the actual spring rate of the coil. And why that's important is that the factory strut, your OE strut, is really designed to handle that much smaller tire. By adding this, we increase the spring rate to handle the weight of a 35-inch, 12.5-inch tire, and so it performs, and you have control over those bigger tires. It's really a critical feature. So you do have to disassemble your strut, and then you can throw this strut spacer on top, okay? Guys that want to eliminate all of this, again, we do have this massive Pro Comp full length coil, 6-inch lift. There is some adjustability. You can go a little higher and crank down the rate here a little bit, but only going to gain maybe a 1/2 inch at max in height in the front, okay? All right, guys, cool. Remember, here at Lift Kits for Less, what differentiates us from everybody else is that we're independent. So you call us, you tell us what you're looking for, what your budget is. We represent every major manufacturer out there. We bust our butt every day to be the best we can be. I know there's a lot of options on the market. Feel free to give us a call. We're available, live chat. You can hit us on Facebook Messenger. We're here to help as much as we can. I know there's a lot of questions, a lot of options on the market. For me right now, in terms of just dollars for a 6-inch full suspension, American made, this is going to be hard to beat. And then you can start upgrading with shock packages and full length coilovers, and this is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to see how this feels on this brand new Tundra. So let's get out to there and check it out. Cool. All right, great. So Gary, our lead installer, just finished installing this. This is a 2017 Tundra. So I just want to go through what's the highlights of this, the components real quick. So we'll just start real basic here. This is your front sway bar drop bracket, okay? Obviously everything in gray is the kit. So as you can see, front cross member, the rear cross members back here. What holds this together is the differential. So this gives you the rigidity that when this is driving, it really feels planted and secure. So anyway, you can see all these components, the diff drop components are in here, and so that's all in. Couple of notes. So as you can see, let's go over to the other side here. So the spacer, the preloader is in here, and then obviously the strut hat is on top. Now again, we talked about Pro Comp does offer a 6-inch coil. It's just direct bolt in. So obviously that can always be added later on. He was obviously concerned about budget, so that's why this is why he bought this particular kit. It's his obviously caters to the budget-minded guy. Still super high quality. Still does a great job of putting everything back in the factory location, just at an incredible, affordable price and all American made. Okay, so here's your front bump stop. This actually has a bracket that sits in here, and these are held in by these two nuts and bolts here. and then it brackets on the back side. And then on the other side, bump stop here, it bolts right into the rear cross member housing. Show you the cut here. This is the only cut you have to make right here to make room for the front dry shaft. So that's your 6-inch cut right there, okay? You can see this does have the optional kicker bar, so guys wanting stiffen up the ride so you don't feel sloppy side to side, this is pretty nice. Obviously the massive new knuckle. Remember guys, factory wheels won't work. You got to upgrade. It's because of this the tie rod in here. It'll rub the wheels. So okay, cool. We'll head to the back here. This particular truck has a 2-piece rear drive line. So out of the transfer case comes to what is known as a carrier bearing, and then to the rear pumpkin. And so this kit actually includes the spacers to drop this down. It's part of the kit for guys that have it. So if you don't have it, don't worry about it. But if you do have a 2-piece drive line, you don't need to go buy a carrier bearing drop kit. It's going to be included in this kit, which is a nice feature. The rear components, straightforward. Remember we had the Adeleaf. Here it is. It sits between the lower I think they call this lower rear overload, but I don't know why they call it that. Anyway, here's your bottom piece, and then here's the Adeleaf. That's where it sits, okay? Block to the block seat here, bump stop to the top, new longer U-bolts in. Looks like Gary trimmed these down a little bit. They're probably a little long. I see a cut mark here also, or a mark here. Anyway, here's the emergency brake relocation bracket. Real simple, just gets it up so there's no tension. And then here also is a kind of a nice design is the rear brake line location, so that gives you some there's no tension on your rear brake lines, so pretty cool. This guy optionally went with the Fox shocks. These are the new Adventure Series 2.0s. So these are huge, massive shocks. So if you want to do a little off-roading, these obviously eat up the terrain, okay? Cool, straightforward. Wheels and tires are on. Let's talk about wheels and tires real quick. What do we got here? Customer Mudhog MTs. This is a 35 12.5 R20, okay? Looks like he's got about a negative 12 to a negative 24. I'll try to update that in the video for you and find out from the customer. He brought us wheels and tires. We threw them on for him, okay? So we'll go ahead and drop this on the ground and take it for a spin and see how she feels.